Welcome back once again. Now I don't have limitations. That's the way I prefer. No limits. But I was saying, right? You notice that pattern that's going on. Okay? And the only thing to do right now is to start imprinting things with that real enjoyment. You yourself, like what you are enjoying, that's what you're going to see after a few years and whatnot, and 5, 10 years or whatever. Then a lot of people are going to start valuing that. And especially, of course, you're not going to just enjoy something that has no value. It would actually have value. So the enjoyment would be about something that does have value, not about something that is empty. Does that make sense? Because if you really question that, it's like, why would this give so much pleasure? This is ridiculous. Like, right, porn, for example. It's like, that's not even real. Like, you're not even, there's nothing to do with you. It's a fucking pixels on the screen and sounds. What? And so that's supposed to be pleasurable? There's no real person with you, right? I mean, yeah, you would think that, but it's a program, it's the existence of this of these images outside of you, right? If they wouldn't be so available there and for you to always watch that, then you would be engaged in life and enjoying the real deal. That's what you would be doing. And that's what people call like these incels and things like that. It's it, they're just stuck in a matrix into that right. Anyway, so that's the reality of it. You What you like it or not, this is like the permutation of the game that is running right now. That's the stage, and that's something that we can't change. We have to go through the nightmare to understand the heaven, or the dream come true. At least that's what I'm telling myself. you know yeah, but it does not mean that you have to participate in that. You may still be in paradise, while in like your little bubble of paradise, while the rest of the world is still in the matrix. And that's the best help that you can do to anybody else. Anybody who come into this holistic bubble, then they start valuing things that are different, that are real, because then they begin deriving enjoyment from these things, which is in real relationships, real contact. See, this is why, like, I have very few through the phone interactions. I have many more interactions in the real life. And so that's real. That gives me, I mean, I can't believe I have to even say that, but of course, duh, right? Not that, sometimes you can't have that, and maybe like you're in love with somebody and they're on the other side of the world and you're trying to get together somehow. That's awesome. That's a beautiful story to play, right? And it's like you're both in love, you both want to, be together, and what's between you and that person is like the matrix challenge. And that's perfect. That's exactly how the life supposed to be, because it's supposed to be a little bit challenging, right? And so you have that good challenge. You're not entering the challenge that is going to just lead you in the wrong direction. It's going to empty me and void of the real meaning in love. So, see, that's the thing. That these people who think just go into this hedonistic pleasure and say like, look, this is how my life looks like. Boom, pleasure, dopamine, and other people, I want my life like that. But that's not real, man. It's empty. They get hit of the pleasure, and then they fucking crash, and they get another hit of the pleasure and crash, and just keep on pulsing like that. But if they would stop, they would fucking start screaming, like because of that's how much pain they're building up inside of them. If they're not completely checked out and psychotic, I mean, psychopathic. Right? And so talking about pain, that's the wrong type of pain, because that's, this type of pain is like an ego growing. It's damaging. It's damaging type of pain. So you can always like be in the process of growing your soul or growing your ego, and it's just one or the other. Right? Everything that comes in your life. Right now, I'm always doubling down on my soul. Because something comes in my life and it like looks great and has like a lot of pleasure and whatnot, but it's not love, it's not real. I'm like, this is not love. Nope. I mean, connection may be amazing and great and everything, but I know how love feels like, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than that, because all these pleasures that these people feel, you get them tenfold, and the love in the background. So why would you not even try to live life like that? It's the most intelligent thing that you can do with your life. Come to the light side. We have cookies here and milk. So there. And so you can even do these, what you would call dark pleasures or whatever, right? Pleasure is pleasure, still done with love. Does that make sense? Like, you don't lose anything. But it can be done with love. And that's why I know, like, as soon as, if something or someone is moving away from love and I feel that, I'm doubling down with love. And the way I do it is I don't move where it's just like a false, right? Yeah, there was a lot of things in my life that was just like, tempted with, yeah, this one, that one, like, look, this is almost good enough. It's like, no, yeah, like, yeah, okay, I can have that, but if it's not gonna have love with it, no thank you. I'm not having that. And that love is that innocence, and you don't want to mess with it, because then it's gone. You see, nobody can mess with it. It's like it's very interesting. Like, if you as a man, you protect that, and it's not a person, because a person that you love could try to do something that threatens, that love that could be between you two. And it's a very, very fucked up thing, for this, at least to me, to see like somebody that you love is threatening that love. Like, what? And then you have to say, no, this is not love. I'm not going there. I'd rather keep love and lose you if you're not in it. And so, yeah, if you went on the ego way, goodbye. And like I said, it's a directional thing, and you can feel it. You can feel if people are moving towards. You can feel it immediately. And when I do feel it, I can trust you, because I know now at least you're moving from that energy, from love. It's the same thing that I've always been with. For some reason, it's been becoming so much more difficult to protect, even from the people that you're meant to be sharing this with. But I trust it. You know what? Like, how can you not trust this? I mean, what, like, it like saves you from the most agonizing pain. How can you not trust something like that? It's not like the other side, the Satan, where it doesn't save you from the pain. It just gives you like a band-aid solution. It's just like, let me just, you know, flash you with pleasure, and then it's like, yeah, but now it's worse. No, let me get you more pleasure, you know. No, thank you. I trust this thing. Ano kabakamale, antatale. You know, and that's my compass of life. And it's like you're walking an invitation, but don't get surprised that like some people say no to this. Even if they do, you can still find a certain type of connection with them. Like I said, if there's the only thing that connects you is the fabric of space time, or like, you know, the space time continuum, it's just that peaceful feeling that connects you and that person, then that's enough, right? I don't really, you know, I'm still learning, still investigating, still exploring this thing. But fuck, I know that this is it. I know that this is it. And what else can I say? That's what people would say, you know, to keep the faith. It's staying with it. Not playing any kind of games with the images, you know, not creating God, the image of God or image of Jesus. Um, you know, like, we're not children anymore. Come on, you know. Like I said, Bible may have Bible was written as a manual of consciousness. That's how every single character they're supposed to be understood, not talked about the specific people or the stories they may have happened or not, but it's irrelevant. It's not about that. It's like, how does it affect your life? You're just going to create images and stories, and it's like, well, I'm just going to idolize something. What, are you going to idolize something that you can never match up to? So what the fuck is that, you know? And then you're going to ask for that image in your head for help? And don't be surprised that that image in your head just gets you something that is pleasurable and pacifying. So that's not what Jesus means. The Jesus means the alchemist. That's what Jesus means. It means anybody being in the process of alchemy is, quote unquote, with Jesus, because the word has been so made into a person that it is also could mean another word is sacrifice, salvation, and all these words are pointing to that, you know, process or that faculty that we all have, and to burn up that pain, to go into that discomfort and connect it to the background of everything, to realize that, oh, that's not a discomfort at all. That's what I've been running away from. from all of this. You see, um, but it only takes for somebody to say like, "Hey, I want to touch that. I want to touch that. I want it. Come here to me. I want that." Yeah, if you have that, then you're gonna touch it. It's gonna happen. You know. So yeah, man. Mm. And then life becomes different, you know, like you start talking and doing things about different things. um Other things become part of your vocabulary, what to be of most importance, you know. And I think the only thing that I want to say is that these these patterns that people are now seeking, and these pleasures and all that stuff, they're going to end. But there's few people who already kind of try and breaking through on this side, and you know, like start prioritizing this as first in life, and then second, because it gets to the point where you cannot. I mean, it's just been shouting at you, like, you know, now this you can't go anywhere, like it's time to look at it, right? And it may be tough, but fuck, you have to go through it. And sometimes, like, if you really neglected it, it may feel like a giving birth, you know. I can kind of understand. I'm not a female, but I can kind of understand of that thing that you know, where you can't go forward, you can't go backwards. You just have to completely surrender to whatever the fuck is going on. That's why I think, like, some women can also break through giving birth. If they break through giving birth, they're like, they're free, because they broke through that type of, you know what I'm trying to say. So pregnancy could be that illuminates the mother. And then a lot of times mothers, you know, well, not all, but some are known to be glowing, right? It's because of that. But that's the glow. That's the real glow. Yeah, and what we're trying to say is that right now, I think the most important thing is just hang on fucking tight, you know? That's what I would have to say. It's just that this is like the most important thing. You may not see the fruit of all of that, right? You may not see the fruit yet, or maybe just a little bit. And so, but there's nothing else to do, right? You gotta keep on going, and when it starts bearing fruit, it's gonna start bearing fruit in heaps and bounds. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Because yes, you can get to the point where it's just like, fuck, like other people are like living their life, and they're doing this and they're doing that, which is just like, I mean, I'm sorry, but most of them are just like on a hamster wheel. It's like, where are you going? What are you doing? Uh, and you may have that pull as well. It's like, well, I should be doing more of this. But no, now just not the time. It just may not be time for these like very intimate romantic relationships. It may not be time for something like that. So you just still choose that, still remain in that, and that will be it. That like anybody you're gonna meet on that level, that frequency is gonna be based on love, right? And like I said, love is intelligent. It's gonna connect you to people in a like appropriate ways. Does that make sense? There's never like kind of you connected with this person so that you make this person jealous, right? It's not like that. It's like it's so intelligent that it's just like connected perfectly with the person, with all the people in appropriate ways. So then there's this almost like unspoken like understanding of boundaries, but these boundaries are not rigid. They are quite flexible, but nonetheless there are boundaries, right? And sometimes it's kind of would be okay to get with somebody personal because they really need it, and then sometimes it would not be okay because you're like with somebody that you should be getting more personal with, right? So just like there has that intelligence, and it just connects you with to people in exactly the right way that it's supposed to connect with you, right? But you don't think with your genitals anymore, don't feel through the it's you don't make the decisions with that, right? You see like what, okay, what's how do I feel it in the heart about this you know relationship or this connection, and what is it that what's happening there, and if there is this something there going on, then you explore it, but you don't automatically say that it has to be like romantic or anything like that. I said in the previous video, like it's a type of friend zoning everybody. You friend zone everybody, not because you are doing it, but it just happens naturally. Because if you choose the heart first, then all of these options, all of these sex options just fall off, right? And then you say like, well, yeah, that can happen if it goes through the heart first. It's because if it does happen, if it doesn't go through the heart, it's just not worth it. It's damaging you. Do you understand? You're causing brain damage. You're damaging your brain when you do this. Literally. Because another thing I have to say about brain is something that can be observed, right? It has shapes and everything and connections and neurons and all of that. But it is a type of system, and it's reflecting the ethers and the mind and this non-visible spectrum of electromagnetism of how you are wired, right? Your brain can like has all of this, how you're wired. Your brain is different if you spend a lot of time in that piece, right? Your brain is different if you go to the gym or like do some martial arts or any kind of athletic challenging. Your brain is different. So it's just the end result of what's really going on there, but it's reflecting the programming. So whenever you're like engaging in this type of alchemy, when you're flipping around and your brain is like wired like, hey, let's go this way, and then you just have to go like and say like, no, let's go this way. So you see that you are moving against the gravity. And so you're going against the grain of everything, right? But you stick with it because that's the way to go. It's like, so what that everybody's going the other way? You fucking go the right way anyway. Yeah. You go the right way. And that's all where your attention is going, really. Like, that's all it is. You go the right way. And right now it's kind of tough and difficult, and it's not normal. Like, that's what I said, like, these to go through these seemingly like bad trips, because like when you take psychedelic and you know that you're on a trip, and you go into like some dark spot that you're meant to be learning of how to look at it, how to face it, how to get into the state where that dark spot sort of not seen as a dark spot. It's the type of that alchemy game. I mean, just try to run away from it. Like, yeah, it's kind of making you face it. But if you just want to try to run away, yeah, you can do that. But it's going to be very difficult, very hard, and very painful. And that's why I don't understand that the people who run away from this are inflicting the damaging pain to themselves. And people who go into it, they're experiencing the growing pains. But there's not the pain anymore, right? Because it's, when you exercise your muscle, and after that your muscle is a kind of little kind of sore, but just like a right amount. And it's that itch, but that's like also, satisfying itself at the same time. Like, fuck yeah, like, it feels good. So that's like very similar of how your heart, your energy, everything feels like. And sometimes, yeah, it comes on, like I said, like I think a few days ago, just came online, and it was like, whoa, hello. And then, yeah, okay, you have to do it. It's like, that's the trip. And then these are not easy right now, because we're at the boss level, I think. So we just have to stick it out, but also not wait for it to end. Like, if this would be all that there is all the time, are you completely, totally at the edge of life with that? That's the point. It's not, let's wait for it to end. But at the same time, you have to realize that it's not always going to be like this. That makes sense? Not to say that you're not supposed to, like, you see what I'm trying to say. We don't have to complicate these things like that. But that's where you want to go. Okay? And sometimes there's a choice. There's a choice. It's like, hey, you can go there. You can have this pleasure there, right? But you can go here. And that would be, okay, is this something that's going to lead me to fulfillment of my heart? No, that's just going to be temporary pleasure. All right. Nah, thank you. Like, we're done with that, right? And you go here, and you don't see anything outside of you. You just chose the energy that you want to have in your life, and you protected your innocence in your heart. This is why protecting innocence is the first thing. In order for you to protect the innocence of others, you have to protect yours, because it's only one innocence anyway, right? And if you cannot protect your own innocence, how can you protect somebody else's? Because when the challenge comes along, and you can't stay with it, and that's not fun, right? Fuck. And sometimes you may need to make a decision. Like I had to make a decision that was super super painful, uh, but it was right because I want real love and truth. That's what I want. I don't know what wants that thing, but whatever that is and whatever that is, I want to have that as part of my life first. That's just non-negotiable. There's nothing more important than that. Again, but it's not to say that like, oh, I just want good things and I don't want to pay the price. No, you are paying the ultimate price, which is your ego, yourself, your ultimate sacrifice to have that love. Is to you sacrificing yourself. You're burning yourself up. What do you think this is burning sensation in your heart? What is burning there? It's the ego that is burning. It's not necessarily your ego. Um, it's just ego of the whole game here. At this point, is like I said, it's very obvious that there's no two egos. There's only one ego, and that helps to kind of end all sorts of pointless arguments. In narcissism and empath dynamics, like, oh, you are abusing me, and I'm being abused. Both are at fault. One is asking for the abuse, and another one is giving it, and they're both at fault. There's no, you know, because the person who does not want to be abused, I mean, we're all gonna get abused once, at least. But then you can make a decision after that and say and go all the way to what caused that abuse and alchemize that, and that abuse will no longer happen, right? Which is not to say that like um, you're spoiled. No, you know what you want and you know what it takes, and you'll sacrifice and burn all these inside of you, these ego inside of you. That is not it. But because it is only one ego, you're burning it in your relationships. There's this thing between you and other, and that's the thing to take care of. And the love that you're taking care of, that's the thing between you and the other. The ego that you're burning up, that's the thing between you and the other. It's just all you, and it's your game, and that's the way you play it, and that's the way you get. That's what I've learned. It's very difficult, very hard to accept this thing. I'm still accepting it, because part of your ego kind of tries and wants to, um, like, not to be responsible for everything, you know. But it kind of masquerades with by saying that, like, well, I want somebody to, uh, you know, be like me or collaborate with me, right? It says that, and so there's no way there's just me here, and there's no way that it's just I'm responsible for whatever's going to happen in my life. Why can't there be somebody there who's also responsible for that? But the thing is that that desire for that to be there for you is like the ultimate trap. But when you say like, okay, I'm okay to be this thing that is it, and so then it's impossible to blame. Not to say that it's easy, because I can feel the motion, right? Like it is a battle, because I can feel the ego is trying to get its way and it get me into all of these things, and I have to sometimes really work really hard not to go there. And is this going on? It is a war. I don't have better tools than that, like just like a zeroing it out, that courage and surrender, as I call it. And um, it's getting easier, but that's the most difficult thing that I've ever done, I would have to say, because why would they call it difficult? Some moments were like that. Now I can handle almost everything, but there were moments where I didn't think that I was gonna handle it, and there was just like there was very clear for me that like if I don't go in this, if I don't just stay with it, it's gonna go into some wrong fucking way. It's gonna fuck my brain up or like it damage me some in some way or whatever. But so I was like just kept on breathing through and I stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, no matter how ugly it was. And I would just like dove into it sometimes because there was just no way. It's just like kind of um in your face there, right? So it's like, okay, if you're in your face, then I'm in your face, and you dive into that stuff, you know. Um, and you're almost like diving in, digging in to this. And this sometimes that digging and that diving, going through the eye of the needle, is what, you know, um, put me through it. But without that 0 point, that's kind of impossible to. Sometimes the intensity is such that it's like you realize like, oh, this one I won't be able to dissolve it without the complete and total void. And beginning the weaving and connecting those two dots and just going back into the void, back into the void. And yeah. And yeah, and so then it's obvious that you created everything, but then at the same time you're like, oh, so it wasn't voluntary, you know. I did not fuck up literally. I just came in. I had these wounds. I was naive. These wounds created these events in my life of separation, highlighted that wound, so then I could go in and now work on it and really work on it and not go be in the mind when some people are I'm working on it, but it's just reframing the images, but not really facing that. And it's still about blaming. It's that person, and that creates all sorts of gossips and stuff like that. And see, sometimes it's trying to enter my mind, and it's just like gossiping, and I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. We're done with this shit, you know. This is not the way. We're not gossiping no more, you know. But that, and in a way, when it becomes so intense, because you can't have any other way, you have to find that background of everything in some way. You have to find that surrender, that courage. You have to just play with it, look there, and just try to open up and everything. It is really like unlocking, decrypting something that is encrypted. And if you look at it that way, there's more playfulness there, and there's more fluidity, and you know. And I do find that state that's just like, oh, and you always find it. And if you're really close, you're still in the process of dissolving it. You know, you still live very deeply. And what else I have to say about pain? This is it. Uh, the enjoyment is the pain and pleasure already weaved together. That's why it has the pleasure itself there, and you're not afraid of pain because it's weaved together with the pleasure, and you have that what people call like ecstasy. That's what ecstasy really means. But another word for it is enjoyment. It's not pleasure. And to me, it's very clear what when I'm enjoying something, when it's just a pleasure. When you're enjoying something, it's just like everything inside of you is buzzing, like electrical. Anyway, it's good shit. What I'm saying. So at least that's what's coming from your heart. Your heart is now the ether, the breathing, the breath of life is beautiful. And then it begins. Then at least you have the breath of life that is beautiful, and it's colorful, and it feels like sweet candy, sparkle, whatever you want to call it, but you know that that's the colorful breath of life running through you. And now you can imagine whatever you want to imagine with that thing. At this point in my life, it's just like I'm trying to get used to it, because I know that my whole brain is changing. This is why sometimes you have to cut a little bit of slack to yourself, because sometimes you may look as like, well, I haven't done that much, even though like other people look at your life, it's like, fuck, like what, you did all that? But you don't feel it. Like, it's just like, fuck, I have not done, I've planned so much more than this. And so there might be this like that you're behind. But if you were going through these eyes of the needle, and you're not behind, you're at the edge of life. Right? And so yeah, this is not this transformation, this mutation. You are mutating, you understand? You're being a mutant. That's what the, like all these comic books write about it, about that mutation, the transformation from one to another into another form. This is where it's coming from. Your brain is literally is becoming like a lot of things in your brain is rewiring it the opposite way. So you have to understand that you're going through this surgery almost, right? That takes time. So sometimes whenever you're like feel heavy and you can't move for shit, give yourself a break. When you have to move, you move. Okay? And also know whenever there's like a laziness come online and is pretending to be exhaustion, because that can happen as well. So cut yourself some slack, I would say. It's very interesting. Like now I'm talking about it, and you have your own reality. Like it's like we're not in the same reality. Does that make sense to you? And when if our realities overlap in some sort of way, and there's a connection, then wow, that's amazing. But we live on our own worlds. But we really like to have our worlds sort of like connecting somehow with other worlds. We like that as souls. We like that. This is what your world is like this, what your world is like. And so that's what we do. And sometimes, you say like, well, I manifested you, and it's like, no, I manifested you. It's like, which one is right? It's like synchronistic. But why would you want to say that there's only you here? That's why, by the way, that's the difference between the holism and solipsism. Because solipsism is just like, I am the only one here, me as my ego, myself, and I'm like, that's solipsism. It's just like I'm alone and others are not real. That's solipsism, and it often is connected with nihilism, and it's disgusting, and this is nothing to be proud of or talk about it, how how cool it is, how reality is really like that, and and there's nobody real in your reality, and I was like, this is dark shit, this is not it. The holism is when it's only you. There's no others. The pixels that you're seeing in your screen, it's your continuous fabric folded in this different way. So there's that feeling of connection with the background of everything. right? And so there's that compassion from the background with anybody really, but still in the body, you are not naive, right? Like you don't trust the people anymore, you trust their programming. You say, well, if that's how is that how they program, then you can scan what they're programmed like. It's like what kind of thought pops into your mind when you think about that person, and then you say, oh, they're programmed that way, and then you can choose to reprogram that person. And like, what gives you the right to reprogram the person? Because it's, first of all, it's, that person is not different from you, it's you. And why would you reprogram that person? If you reprogram it for something, for mutual benefit or some um harmony between you two, you have the right to do so. That's like, I really want to be specific here, because when you do it from the heart, if you do it out of love, it's legit. Because no system, and this system is not going to say, well, how dare you to break my free will, and and that's being, it's not going to happen, because they're going to say that they manifested you, and you're going to say that you manifested them. That's what's going to happen. But the fear may be that it's like, well, what if I break their free will? You see, because if you wouldn't manifest it from the love, right, then you would say, okay, this is what they like right now, and then you would be like, yeah, but that's not like compatible to me, like this is not it. And so, you can then continue engaging in that, and what's going to happen? Because you have not reprogrammed that story, you're going to be repeating that old story. And then then you can also choose to say, like, well, I'm not going to go with this. I choose love first. And then from that love, you can start creating the images, which can include other people in your life. And if you had like a very positive and loving interaction in your imagination, and you felt love in your heart, that's legit. No system is going to say that you broke somebody's will. Does that make sense? Like, if somebody is loving with somebody else, nobody is like, hey, you're breaking somebody's free will. Because the will becomes mutual. Love is always mutual. There's a reciprocated love. It does not exist. It's not love. It's still pain there. It's not, trying to say. That's what I got to learn. That but then I also was fighting with this idea of, like, what kind of liberty you have of reprogramming people. And if you fragment it in your heart, then you don't have any fucking rights to program them the way you want them to behave. If you have pain in your heart, and you make somebody love you, it's not going to be love, it's going to be lust, because lust goes where the pain is, right? So you can make somebody obsessed about you, and that's very dark, evil shit to do. And you don't have to do this, but if you do it, you're going to go into a deeper pain. If you do this, now you're going to have to deal with it, not only for yourself, but for the other. So that's why I said, like, there's a damaging type of pain. If you do damage to your brain, you can still repair it, but now you have to repair the damage and build it up. Does that make sense? That's why it's a lame ass move. Is why I was very careful. Now I knew that I had that capacity, because it was very easy for me to see. So, like, oh, if I create that image, and it's a pleasure-based image, then that's what is going to make that person do, because it's pleasure-based. But it's not love. It's not love. So I decided to go deeper and come out on the other end. And okay. And so then that's what gives you any kind of right. And you will feel it. For example, sometimes you may feel if you go into your heart and you alchemize all that, you feel the right type of love for that person, and you may imagine, you know, or maybe visions may come in, and there's that vibe there that is love based, and whatever image that you created, that it's legit because it was mutual. Does that make sense? This idea that love is could be not reciprocated is nonsense. This is very, very important to understand. If you understand this, is that like if you manifest from love, everything is legit. There's nothing that is not legit if you manifest from love, because love will not allow you to create an image that is kind of distorted. Love will not allow you to create an image that is not like kind of love based. Does that make sense? This is why sometimes, often, when you manifesting somebody from that feeling, the images are not sexual. I mean, it can be, but they, if they, basically the intelligence knows exactly what kind of connection is supposed to be there. There's nobody saying like, well, it have to be this or you have to be that. Whatever is there and it's true. And if in that moment you feel this type of platonic love for that person, then that's what it is. And if it's more like a heated and passionate, then that's what it is. But it's from love. And so there's this, like, if you just be guard of that energy, that innocence, and everything that comes into your mind is from there, it's going to be all right. Because it's almost like you cannot break it, right? Because even if you try to come outside this image and say, no, the feeling is not that. The feeling is not sexual here. The feeling is beautiful, but it's not sexual. So why would I create a sexual image here, you know? And so you stay with that feeling and what kind of images it's creating. It could be super, super intimate, but still not sexual. This is why sensuality could be more profound than any sexuality can ever be. That's the first thing that I want to say. That sensuality could be more profound than any sexuality can ever be. But then when you have the sensuality profound, then automatically any kind of sex will be, you know, at that same type of level. And I think that sex by itself without sensuality can only go so far. It cannot go deeper. You know? And it's like it has its own intelligence. So anyway, that's what I'm playing with right now. But another thing I want to say, it is a time period. It's not, you know, people say like Dark Night of the Soul and stuff like that. This is like dark. I don't know. But there's just no more. I mean, the opportunities here are so good because you can work with any kind of thing that is out there. Like this, to me, it's just like a ripe with opportunity. That's what I'm trying to say here. But at the same time, it's kind of intense too, and sometimes you're just like, oh, you can't go anywhere but through the avenue. You know, that's sometimes what happens. It's just like, hey, there's nowhere to go, just through your heart, and you go there, and suddenly things are all right again. So there's my fruity little video today. That's it. I think we figured out life already. Now it's time to start living. Yeah? No. Okay. Okay. See you in the next one.